Today we're just doing a bit of a masterclass in squats. So going through the basics of it. So the squat is the base movement of all power movements with our legs. Mitch, you've done a few of these in your time?
Yes, I've done a few. At first they weren't my favourite, but now, as time's gone on, I've really learnt to enjoy them. You can lift some pretty serious weight with, doing squats. They're big muscle, your legs, so very important for a fast bowler to be doing squats. Yeah, like I said, many of us don't really enjoy it, but it's very beneficial for us.
Yeah, great. Now, what we're going to talk about is we're going to go from bar placement. Now, I'm just going to get Mitch to turn around. He's got these big, massive upper traps, right? That's where the bar sits on. Not on your neck. Now, Mitch, you were saying before about a towel. You see some players rolling up a towel here, some Nancy boys doing that.
Towels or pads.
What do you think of them?
I've seen boys do that, and I often go over and grab it and throw it in the bin. So they're obviously sitting it in the wrong spot. If you're sitting it on your neck, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna get really sore. So if you're sitting it on the right spot, generally it's okay. You don't really feel it too much.
Yeah, Nick Stapleton, that's for you. Also, another thing, mate, I've heard about people talk about gloves, wearing gloves in the gym. They're banned in our gym. What do you think of, I like to call them Nancy boy gloves, but you call them whatever you like.
Yeah, I've got a gym at home and there's no gloves in there. We've got chalk, so I use chalk for grip. And yeah, as my hands, you've got calluses, so I like the feel of having calluses on my hands. It means it feels like I've done something in the gym.
And it's really good for cricket because you're getting hit with a hard ball, so you want to have that hard skin there. Now, the girls out there doing this program, like Jemima, you can wear gloves. I don't mind if the girls wear gloves because you want them to have soft hands. That's a girl thing, but it's not a man thing. So what we're going to do now, we've worked that out. So just get the bar on your back there. So this is called a squat. People call it the back squat. We just call it the squat, right? So it's on his traps. He's underneath the bar. He's going to squat it up. He's just going to stand straight up. So we never lean forward to get it. We just want only compressive forces. When we lean forward, that's called a shearing force. Very bad for our back. So he's going to pick it up and pull it back here. So feet about shoulder width apart, head and chest up nice and tall. Now with the breathing, we take a breath in at the top, switch on our core. Then he squats down, sits back in it, and then as he hits the bottom, he starts blowing out and pushing through his heels. So really good control there. We'll do that again, Mitch. He's got that slight curve in his lower back. The weight is basically going through the midline of his body. Head and chest up nice and tall, and breathing out as he pushes up. And where are you pushing through there, Mitch, as you come up?
I'm sort of pushing through the sort of heel, mid sort of foot. Yep. So I don't want to be going back like that, and I don't want to be forward on my toes. So it's sort of a neutral sort of feeling in my feet. So.
The initial push is through your heels to try and really activate those glutes as well. So that's good. Okay, just a couple more. So with the bar, obviously Mitch can squat a lot more than this, but this is just demonstrating the technique and good to practice with this. Okay, I'm going to get you to walk it in, Mitch. Walk it in and squat. Yep, we got that. Now, a couple of things. We'd never get you to do squats without the safety bars in. That's obviously for safety. So, and also I never get people doing squats without having a spotter behind them. So I'm going to show you the spotting technique. It's quite embarrassing, but this is what you want to do because as a spotter, you've got to look after your back and your health as well. So Mitch, just get under the bar again and show me. Okay, he stands back. So I need to get in a good position. Mitch is going to be able to lift a lot more than I can, so squatting down. So I go with him, and as he comes up, if he's just hitting his sticking point, I just help squat him up, right? So I'm in a really strong position for my back. You only need, when they find it hard or go through a sticking point, we call it, they're only going to need a little bit of force. But if you're standing up and you've got to get in a poor position with your back, that's not going to be great for you and you're not going to be able to help him much. So always spot, always have the safeties in. Okay, move it back there, Mitch. Okay, and see, he gets under there and he squats down. He's not leaning in any direction. So that's really good form, which we expect from Mitch. And how much weight, there is another, I'm putting you on the spot, how much weight when you're doing, say, sets of 5, when you're really well trained, maybe in your pre-season, how much would you be able to lift on a squat?
Yeah, putting me on the spot a bit. This is probably not my strongest point, and it should be, but I'd say around that 135 mark, and it should be higher, I think, with my weight. But that was something that I was working on a lot in my career, was getting that lower leg strength, because I didn't really do a lot of it early on, and it was probably more the second part of my career that I really worked on it and tried to get that strength. So if you can bench more than you're doing with your squat, there's something wrong. So yeah, look.
So you can bench more than that?
No, I can't, but I can bench all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should be really dominating with your squats.
Yeah, and when you come in late, that's fine, and that's still a really good weight for a fast bowler. 1.5 times your body weight for sets of 5 is pretty good, and that's what we aim for, 1.5 to 2 times your body weight to be able to squat. So if you were doing sets of 1 or 2, which we don't really want you to do, you'd probably be able to get to that anyway. So
yeah, and I mean technique as well. Like has been so important. I've had like hip issues, and we're talking about like the position of the feet like before, and sort of that shoulder width apart. Sometimes I'm a little bit wider because I feel like it frees up my hip a little bit more, and so there's things that you sort of work out as you sort of go along. So you want to feel comfortable while you do it, but also have the correct technique. One of the other things I do focus on personally is making sure my knees don't drop in when I'm doing my squats or my deadlifts or anything like that. I want to make sure that I'm pushing on that straight line instead of coming in like that. It means I'm collapsing and haven't got the strength, but can probably damage myself when I'm lifting like that if I don't do the correct technique.
100%. So what he's talking about there is wherever your feet are going, your knees should bend in the same direction. So if you're a little bit wide and going out, they should be pointing in the same direction. So what we're trying to coach for cricketers and runners is when you squat, keeping about shoulder width apart and sitting down, knees straight, feet straight, because that's the way we actually produce force into the ground when we run. Now, Mitch was talking about having a bad hip. Not all cricketers will be able to do the squats. So deadlifts might be an exercise that might, for whatever reason, it's a very similar movement, but might not cause pain in his hip, which you don't seem to get in your deadlifts.
Yeah, I don't in my deadlifts. I can in my squats, early on, so that's why I warm up as well. If I get the proper warm up, I'm generally pretty good. So the deeper I go with my squat, it's when I start to feel it when I'm really deep. So I don't, like I said, as a fast bowler, you don't need to go past that parallel, but sometimes I have and I feel my hip, so that's a sign to me not to go that deep. I just go to where I'm comfortable.
Yeah. And he's hit on a great point there. In cricket, unless you're a wicketkeeper, we don't need to go into a deep squat. So the lowest you'll ever go even in the slips is not past deeper than thighs parallel to the ground. When we run, from here to here is your power movement. So that's only parallel at best. So that's right, we don't need to overdo it in cricket, and particularly for a fast bowler whose back we're really looking after, we don't need to go in the deep weighted squats. As soon as you weight something up, then we increase risking injury. So really good, Mitch. What I'll do is I'm just going to get you back on here. We're going to get a few of you doing it facing the camera, so they can the people out at home can see what you're talking about with your knees. Yep. So normally, again, we wouldn't do this at home, but it's just for the sake of the camera. So I'll just guide you there. Right. Yeah, so head and chest up nice and tall. Good. So it's going down nice and slow and controlled. Head and chest up nice and tall. Knees are pointing in the same line as his feet, and the knees don't go past the toes. So all really key movements and key points for the squats. Very good, mate. I'll just guide you back in. Yep, squat. And I think that's probably a wrap, Mitch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.